Is it on? What up, everybody? It's your boy Neo, and I am here. And it's dark, and we are having a night sesh with Neo. Now, the title of this show is something along the lines of you can't take control over your future until you accept that you controlled your past. Somewhere along those lines. I haven't perfected it yet, but that's what we're talking about. And not being able to admit that you manifested everything that's ever happened to you, you've manifested into your life. As people, we're warriors, and people don't like to think that they might have manifested something bad to happen to them. They don't like to think of that, so they shut it down. And that's one of my biggest problems with trying to teach thoughts become things, is people are like, that car accident. I sneeze. Excuse me. That car accident, I didn't manifest that. Well, did you? How many people have you talked to recently that got in car accidents that got you thinking about it, watering that seeds? How many times did you flip on the news and see car accident after traumatic event? That's why I don't watch the news. I don't even watch the news. I could be passing by it, and I'm going to think something negative because they're talking they're talking about something negative. Got a little cough coming. And guess what? I'm watering negative seeds. And I try my hardest to brush that off and smile and say, use one of my mental exercises. Like, that was a good movie I just created in my head. And good thing it's not real. Move on, to the next thought. But it's like, there's so much that happens in life because of that. I think that is the biggest test. Dealing with death in the family, everybody knows I lost my sister. And so people always ask that. That's the big major question. I didn't manifest that. In the reality sense of things, I did worry about my sister's health. I'm not going to front. All the time. I didn't know about thoughts become things. And when I say worry, it's ever since I knew what obesity was and the impact that it could have, mainly taking someone's life early. So I had watered that seed for a long time, and no doubt everyone who knew her did, because you worry about the people you love. You think about the people you care about. So I'm big enough to say, yes, I contributed to that outcome. If thoughts do become things, which I am 100% convinced, I wield this sword every day, easily. I'm very good at it. But I have to man up. I have to man up and say, you know what, I did contribute to that. Because I did. If thoughts become things and all the energy of declining health and all that, I got to man up and say, I helped water that seed. I wish I knew this before. Moving forward, when someone's in the hospital or someone I love is hurting, I picture the good times together with us both happy. I use every single negative thought about what if. I use that as a trigger. Not a tattoo on my arm or something on the wall. I use that as a trigger. And that takes a lot of practice. A lot of annoying practice. 60,000 thoughts a day on average per person, trying to twist and turn, and they're all negative. They all got negative foundations because of what's going on around us. The possibility of loss, hurt, failure, they all have negative foundations. It's just who we are. That's something that people need to admit, 100%. But this is such a big one too. This is such a big one too. Yes, you did manifest that bad thing into your life. You worried about it, you thought about it, you ran some scenarios. It took 2 years to happen, 5 years to happen, 10 years to happen. Your whole life. Think of Biggie and Tupac. Paranoid. What happened? You get what you truly expect. And I'm sorry, I don't like it. but I expected a rough go of it. For my sister, once I learned what obesity was, I expected a rough go of it because of what I saw. You know, I fought people in school because they called her names. Then I go home and argue with her all night. But it's that acceptance. And the acceptance that I manifested everything that's ever happened to me. Every stubbed toe, every chipped nail, whatever. Because that gives me 100% control over my future, which means all these what ifs, negative scenarios that I'm running, I'm not going to run those anymore. It's not going to be like a light switch, but if I work my way and work hard towards it, I don't run those no more. I'm telling you right now, I used to say this wasn't possible, but I don't run those no more. I'm not saying I don't have any negative thoughts, but I have these blockers in my mind. I've conditioned my mind to be able to catch a thought and start chipping away at it before it even becomes a full-blown movie going on in my mind. And those are the mental blockers I want you guys to install. You know, when the brain says you can't do, you don't have that money, well, what if I did? I mean, it made it all the way through with that sentence, and if you could install blockers to knock off one word at a time so the sentence comes to you so discombobulated, so proven the opposite, so unlikely to happen that it's not even a real negative thought. You literally laugh at it like a child's antics. That's what they said on The Secret. And every time they said it, well, I haven't seen the movie that many times, but I've said it so many times. Like a child's antics, and that's where I'm at right now. And my manifesting has been going crazy. Ooh. And it's all off of that one big win, that one big, nut I had. That shit brought the next, then that brought the next, then that brought the next two. These are day to day, back to back to back. The next two, not so much cash, just phone calls with great news involving cash. Well, one of them. The other one was a phone call with great news involving my health. I don't have GERD, everyone. Now, I got some acid reflux stuff going on. But after a colonoscopy and an endoscopy, yeah, they stuck a camera up my butt. I never, I'm exit only, but gotta do what you gotta do. I'm good. That phone call right came after another phone call. Man, I went to, I'm not going to bring him up, but this is a nice sesh with Neil. Y'all going to learn about me. I might as well give you the health stuff too, so you know where I'm at with that. I get to the doctors, right, as a specialist, right? And they said the referral's in. We don't let people back unless the referral's in. That's their number one rule. If the referral is not in, you're not even going in the back room. You're going to wait till your doctor's office, get someone. So, they say the referral's in, whatever, appointment's over. This is July of 2017. Last month, I get a bill, my first bill, and they broke it down for me yesterday, or the day before, about how many times they went back and forth trying to get payment from the insurance company. Anyway, the referral wasn't there. So they wanted me to eat that money for the whole visit. And, of course, I'm looking at them like, first of all, you don't exist. God has put another hurdle in front of me. What I'm asking for from God is to be unlimited, to never have to worry about money again. And, of course, his test of me is to challenge me with a money challenge. I'm going to pass this shit. Insurance company, doctor's office, you don't even exist. This is God he just hit the ball at me in tennis, and I'm happy we're in the game together. So I'm going to let this ride. Now, I've been doing this for about 2 months now, maybe 3 months now. I've been doing this. And, yeah, I mean, I got it. I got them to cover it. Because I'm like, yo, Y'all really willing to lose me over that? Doctor's appointments, and all this. Yo, that stuff costs money. They're going to make a lot more money off me than just one visit. That's just a dumb move. And like the first 6 people I talked to was telling me no. That anything you ask for, you will be shown, if not proven, that you cannot have it. And it's how you respond to that determines if and when you get it. When I first got the news of this, it was over for me. It was done. God, you put it in my lap, bow, bow, you could have it back. The fact of the matter is I don't have control over anything anyway except my thoughts. The world will get in 30 seconds, and that bill doesn't mean shit. Neither does money or math. You know what I mean? So it's like, why am I going to worry about that? I'm going to hit that ball right back to you. You gave it to me. It is you. It's made of energy, which is you. Here, you can have that back. I'm going to go back to doing what I was doing, which was playing make-believe about chilling in Dubai with unlimited funds and a whole shitload of smiles going on around me. Happy family members. And that's where the blockade is. So like I said, I'm not going to sit up here and say I don't have negative thoughts. That would be bullshit. But as that sentence is flying at me, just to give you a picture, as that sentence is flying at me, I have blockades or, ammo. Like, let's say the word "thes" in a sentence. I have a "the" cannon that is going to shoot up and blow up the word "the." The rest of the sentence is still coming. Now, if I was able to have enough different cannons that I wholeheartedly believe in that can attack that word in that sentence, like can, will, whether it be a financial thing, whether it be a love thing, whether it be a relationship thing, whether it be a personal goal, success of building something with your hands, no matter what it is. It's all one thing. It's all one God, you. You cannot feel the oneness of being God if you think that something happened to you that hurt you from somewhere else. Nothing can attack God. You know that. God is He's the almighty being of almighty beings. And as long as you think that an outside source hurt you like that and could potentially hurt you again, you're not going to feel it. You're not going to believe it. You are going to worry. It is going to be very, 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 very hard not to worry, especially in those thick-ass situations where you're in it. I can think of a couple people right now. I did a video for one. It's 20 minutes, 19 minutes long. It's that serious. It's that serious. With these, with the oneness with God and the, I got the paper in my pocket. Been using the same card now since that video I did. Concede and appreciate. That's step one. Be a little conceited, cocky about something, and then appreciate your life. Your life. Not that subject, not that topic. Yeah, you could do that too, but life in general. How do I feel when I'm standing still? How will I feel when I'm standing still? That's it. I know so many people that are so far from their inner peace, spirituality, enlightenment, happiness, whatever you want to call it, that when they say, oh, when I'm standing there, I'm just standing there, what? You know? People are going to look at me funny. Why did you stop? Why are you just standing there? And I know so many people that are just going to say that. If I stop and just stand there, I feel silly. I'm just standing there. You are so far from enlightenment. It hurts me. It hurts me that we as people have let ourselves get that way. If you stop and truly stop, you will begin to appreciate just being here. Now, if you stop for 10 minutes and not one time do you appreciate it because so much bad shit is going on in your life, you need to meditate. You need to meditate. You need to get back home. What's it called? I saw the movie. Great movie. One of the greatest movies as far as messages. Eat, Pray, Love. Julia Roberts. Eat, Pray, Love. It has a lot of spiritual meditating. She leaves her busy life and her husband, who, they're basically divorced, to travel for a year. She goes to Italy, eats a lot of great food, learns a lot about real love. Then she goes to India. When she gets there, it's all crazy. There's all kind of stuff going on. Anyway, she starts meditating, starts learning some things, and this part was supposedly happen to her in real life. She had felt like, I don't know how she worded it exactly, but basically she thought her world was so crazy she just couldn't take it. That's why she left New York. But she realized that her mind wasn't crazy. The world was crazy. And the more attached she got to things, the worse off she was. Not to say you can't fall in love with somebody, but to love them to the point where you feel like you're going to die without them, should only be reserved for your children. You know what I mean? And I want you to, that might sound harsh, but run this scenario. Zombie apocalypse comes. You guys know I love zombies. Zombie apocalypse comes. Your spouse wakes you up, or your spouse turns, or whatever the situation is. Okay, you're going to survive because your kids need to survive and they need you to be there for them. No, I can't live without you. Let that shit happen. You will. It would hurt, it would be sad, all that other stuff, but you will. And I think she was more focused, that was a little bit off, because I know people like to jump in and throw the big ammo at me first. And I love to smack it down, you know what I mean, first. But more like material objects, positions, places, things, all that other stuff. Nouns, basically. That's a big one. That's a big part of it, is those nouns. People getting attached to things. I suffer from this tremendously, and I like it. What can I say? I like my toys. I mean, you guys see, I got like 13 airplanes, like 6 or 8 helicopters. I got all these drones. I like my toys. And more importantly, I like shopping, specifically online. I just signed up for Amazon Prime. That's how bad it was getting. But, I'm sorry. I done totally lost the subject. Oh, no. Yeah, Julia Roberts. It makes me very happy to order something, to get it in the mail, and then set it aside. A lot of the stuff that I get is not stuff that you would play with on a day-to-day basis. When I say play with, I mean like an adult play with. Like our cars, you know what I mean? Like we play with them, just drive them around and everything. I consider everything in life basically a toy. Everything you can't take with you, you just interact and play with it while you're here. You know what I mean? But for this, what I'm saying right now, I mean like objects. For me at least, I am a slave to that. And I know a lot of us are. Hey, people, we want stuff. That's cool. That doesn't make me horrible. So many people that would say that makes me horrible. And it's like, come on, man, you want something too. Sit up here and act like you want for nothing. I was speaking with a Buddhist guy. He was sitting here trying to convince me that he wants for nothing. Meanwhile, this motherfucker was trying to get a drink for like 15 minutes. You want a drink? You want the money it takes to get that drink? You can't sit up here and I'm not knocking any religions, but you can't I'm knocking all of them. You can't sit up here and say one thing and do the other. If I had to pick a religion, my religion would be human. You know what I mean? What I naturally want to do, what makes me feel good, I'm going to do it. I believe deep down inside that we all want to be better and do better and lead, a good example for our children. We just get pulled into other situations that has you, getting locked up or running from the cops and some shit like that. Give an opportunity, give a person an opportunity, and most people would take it to a bright place. There's exceptions to every rule, but we can put them all on an island somewhere. Say no. And no, it all starts with that very simple thing, the title of this show. Own your past. And by I say own it, don't think of how you should own it. Don't think of why you should own it. Just say own it and move on. Take your mind from this room and move it into the next room. Just like walking across the threshold. Move on. Every single thought you have, it's up to you to stay there, move on. Some people are so used to being on autopilot that they let it run and run and run. You're going to get what you're used to. You're manifesting more being on autopilot and letting it run. Take a step up. Take a step forward. Control that thought. End it. End it. Just stop it. You want to do better? Play it out with your ending. You want to do better? Play it out with your ending and bring God into it. You want to do better? Play it out with your ending because you're God. And then watch this crazy shit start happening to you. Let me tell you something. My past week and a half to 2 weeks have me smiling a lot. I'll just put it that way. And me smiling a lot manifests what? More of me smiling a lot. Like, I'm closer to the come up, the big come up I've been talking about. Becoming the real thoughts become things king. I'm the real thoughts become things king now. I am me now. But being internationally known, endorsements, all that other stuff, all that stuff that brings the King James type money. And more. I could see it coming and it makes sense. I'm ordering some crazy happy seeds these days. And that's because I'm taking the time out to stop and really appreciate these last couple wins. Not because of how much they were or the item. Leave that behind. Just like any bad situation, treat the good situations the same way. I'm leaving you behind. You are just another part of life. When I go, it's not my money. I go to the store, I swipe my card, they let me leave. I don't know nothing about no money transaction. I get all that stuff for free. All I gotta do is swipe this card in the box. It sounds silly, but don't you want to live like that? Don't you want life to be like that? Leave all that behind, the good and the bad. This is you and God. You as God, who has separated and split in half to a physical world and a mental world. So it seems like there's two, but there's really not. And you run in this show. Ooh, that's a good feeling. Now, don't be a douchebag and run around and start trying to tell people what to do and command them. Don't even say I'm God out loud. Just people are going to look at you like you're crazy. They get offended, all that other stuff. You got to follow it up like I do with, I know you are too. Immediately. It's a really rough subject to tackle. But y'all know me. I take on the biggest and baddest and roughest. I'm trying to change the world, which means getting rid of a lot of important people. I don't even know what to call them. Some organizations, some people got to go down in order for what I want to happen. Which is to spread thoughts become things. Have everyone thinking it. Everyone getting what they get off of, using it. The world being more happier and a better place, which means we're going to manifest all the slimy politicians and rules and regulations right the hell up out of existence, which means a lot of people are going to lose a lot of money. What do they call them? Illuminati or whatever? Yes. Honestly, I can't even deny it. What I'm doing right now, these words completely opposes would be their biggest threat to them. Think about it. Is this not the biggest threat on the planet to them? Otherwise, they can't be touched. But for us all to get together and be positive and start to bump all the bullshit out, yeah, I go for the biggest. I don't know why, but that's what I do. When I play Madden, when I practice against the New England Patriots all these years. Now I practice against the Eagles. And I'm proud to say that shit. That's another win. But it ain't about the Eagles. It kind of is, because that's buried so deep, because I've been a fan for so long. And it's rough being an Eagles fan. But it's about being able to manipulate the flow of energy around me. That's big shit. The Eagles, that's big. That's a big thing to manifest, along with the world. This cell phone I got a year early just so happened to be dangling in the store. No commercials, no advertisements, no nothing. That was a technological miracle. I love that one. I absolutely love that one. And then making objects like cars and shit appear and occupy my driveway. That's another beautiful thing, you know? But I can't do this alone. I cannot sit up here and talk to y'all. I want to share this with the world. But y'all can't have my cars. I have 4 cars. I love y'all, but y'all can't have none of them. Not a one. Got them there for a reason. Each of them got its own purpose. So the next best thing I try to do is to give y'all away. And everyone hears it and they love it and they want to do it, but it doesn't work. They still worry because they can't shake it. So they don't want to do the work and they stop after a day. Because trust me, you'll forget to do it tomorrow. I forget after 2 days, and I've been doing this 8 years straight. No longer than 8 years. I keep saying 8 since 2018. I've been doing this for, 10 years? Never taking a day off, and I can only go a day and a half before I start to forget. To do all the mental exercise, I had this selfie stick / scepter in my hand for 3 weeks. The last 3 days, it was just a part of my hand, an extension. It wasn't reminding me to do anything. It wasn't serving a purpose, so I just purposely set it down where I didn't look at it. I don't want to see it. So when I get it back, it feels kind of brand new again, and I can use it as an anchor to bring me back to this moment, to bring me back to my oneness, bring me back to this moment so I can stop and appreciate what's going on, which brings me to my oneness with God and my happiness that I'm in control because of that oneness with God. But I would not be able to believe that oneness if I didn't own everything that's ever happened to me. That's why this is so big. All this shit goes out the drain. Thoughts become things. All of it goes out the drain. Because you could think something 50,000 times a day. But guess what? What you truly expect is what's really going to happen. Now, wait a minute. Let me stop that. Forget. If you think something 50,000 times a day, that's, what is that, 80%? Somewhere around there of the day. Of course, you're going to change what you expect. Your programming, basically. But you get what I'm saying. You could walk around tomorrow and every chance you get, say, I won the lottery, I won the lottery, I won the lottery. 2 things. If you don't play the lottery, then you're definitely not going to win. But the second one is, do you truly expect to win? No. Learn these things about you, about us. Study them, learn them, say things, see how your brain reacts. You can change your average thoughts, which change your expectations, which changes what's going to happen to you next. I expect some great shit to happen to me next because of what's been happening and the fact that I'm really feeling it right now and the fact that I've been talking to y'all about it a couple times and it feels good to be able to let it out to the world because nobody knew about all this. Some people knew about the money, but I put that back to the universe immediately. So that kind of didn't even feel like a win. You know what I mean? Somebody gave you $100,000 and you immediately give it, invest it in something else. It's like, that's not how much money it was. I was just throwing that out there just to throw off anyone who might have thought they knew, because I think I did throw some numbers out there last week. But yeah, all the other stuff, and there's so much more. Oh, there was a billboard with 42 on it, and Eat, Pray, Love, and she was flipping through the pages in this book, and she stopped on page 42, and she looked around and she closed the book. So little triggers like that, little things like that remind me to just look up and stay present for a second. It's a way of life. It's a way of being. It's a way of thinking. And one thing I can tell you about this is I'm never going back. Say it right there. You see that light? I'm never going back to my old way of thinking. My old way of thinking, which was flip of the coin. Flip of the coin. And if you haven't done it by now, you're probably not going to do it. That would have had me, retiring as a police officer, not doing anything. Because that was my height. That was my level. I'm good. If I was going to blow, I would have blew before that. You know what I mean? So it's like, the brain. It's a tricky thing. And it's being externally programmed and reprogrammed every day. You need to internally reprogram. You need to play some make-believe, people. Play some make-believe, which will water the seeds, which will cause things leading up to that event to happen. You keep watering that seed and that event happens, and you appreciate that happening, thus manifesting another win or manifestation come to life. And it's for people, you need to understand, you're manifesting, whether you think so or not, you are part of this. Energy transfer, okay? You are a part of this system. You are using it right now. You've been using it since you were born. You've been a part of it since the first time someone thought of you, whether it been your great-great-great-grandparents that told a joke, my great-great-great-great-great-grandkids are going to be just like me. The first person watered that seed, that is you. For real. I want you to take it that deep. I want you to look into life. It makes me think of, real quick, the other day, when I asked my son, I said, how you feeling? Or no, I said, you having fun? And me and him were hanging out. It's like Father Sunday. So I knew he was going to say yeah. And he's like, yeah. I said, I mean in life, so far. And it's like, I hit him with that. I hit a couple people with it after that, you know what I mean? And they're like, damn. And then, it leads into a good conversation. You know what I mean? We get deep with it. And, but yeah, it's like, so if I was to put my life on a scale so far, I mean, it would, look, that's a good mental exercise for you. If it's not for you, I guess you shouldn't use it. But like I said, I give you what I'm doing. That's working for me. Okay? You be God. What has God done so far? Has God have any accomplishments? That favorite song you listen to on the radio was made by God and is made of God. The noises, the vibrating frequency waves hitting you in your ear are made of God, from God. The God that in you and is you. The God that is in you and the God that is you. Know that oneness. Try it now. Try it all day, every day. As often as you can, until it doesn't feel like disrespect anymore. It's going to feel like disrespect. Sorry to say. Most of the religions and the way we were raised, blasphemy to think that you're God, even though it says we are one with God. I always thought one meant no separation. That's just me. And God being unfathomable, that always stuck out to me. And the fact that I can be one with something and at the same time separate from it, it's baffling, but I always use the hands thing. You have a left hand and a right hand. Those are two totally different hands. They got different angles and shapes and, you know, life experience. I got a broken knuckle over here, da-da-da. Two totally different hands, but it is one body, one being that is me. So it's two and one at the same time. Just like you and God. The yin-yang symbol. The darkness that is you. The realm of non-existence. Where you create from. In the light, that is the physical world that we can see and touch. The physical versus non-physical. The existence versus the non-existence. Or your thoughts. Be that yin to the yang. Know your relationship. Be able to look at God and say thank you. And be able to look in the mirror and say thank you to yourself. Because I watered the right seeds and I brought that into my life. Forget about what I did yesterday or 10 years ago. This win is me. Take all your wins. And when you take a loss, when you take a spill, when you go through an emotional something that you didn't want to go through, guess what? This is a test. This is a test, a rough one. I don't like it, but guess what? I already won because I ain't gonna worry about it. God got this. Guess what? Your breakup ain't gonna be so bad. Or you can go ahead and dwell on that shit for the next 6 months. Crying, depressed, watering some horrible ass seeds for yourself, the people around you, and all y'all future. Selfish ass. It's shit like that when I look into it is the reason why I do these videos. The reason, not why I do the videos, the reason why I do all the writings I do. And all the recordings. I need to analyze this shit about myself. The commonalities with how other people would react. I need to dissect it and be better. In order to do that is to come to some harsh realities, to accept some things, know the rules, play within them, and find a way to win within them. And that's exactly what the hell we doing. Right here. On 17 stages, 15 platforms. I do this for y'all. I'm not doing this for me. I'm not doing this for me. My personal, it feels good to do it, yeah. I love doing it. But I'm doing this because I can't do this on my own. The world I'm manifesting is a world where people are using positivity and their thoughts to get what they want, as opposed to screwing people over, charging people extra, and you know, being grimy. I can't do that without y'all. So I need to get it out there. We need to spread the word, and we need to change this whole thing up. And if it just so happens that that puts me on the beach in a Lamborghini, then guess what? Good. It ain't like I ain't been on a beach or in a Lamborghini before. It's kind of what I do. I love it, though. I've been killing it. Well, manifesting, I've been killing it. I've been killing it. In the back of my car, it looks like the back of a Wraith, which you guys know is what I'm manifesting. So, and my other car is shaped like the new Lamborghini SUV. So for me to stand in between both cars, about midway, you know, right at the handles, the front handles in between them, and look at the back of one car that looks like a Wraith from the back, and or an Aston Martin, you know what I mean? It could be either way to me. A car head that knows the shapes might be like, oh, shape nothing like that. It's all about perception, Pop. Chill. So, I don't mean dad. I just say pops. You know, that means pop. You like, yo, chill, Pop. So I can sit between these cars and say, listen to this. My Wraith, my Lamborghini SUV. And I can know that I'm not lying. The ego can't step in and tell me, no, that's not. That's this car and that's that car. It would take you to get the ego can't step in and say that. You know why? Because I'm saying that not as Nehemiah Davila. I'm saying that as God. And as God, my can be anything I create in my mind. Anything I create in my mind is mine. I can have it. It's my land. It's my world. God can take my life right now, but he can't stop me from thinking about a red apple on the table. Now, if I picture a red apple on the table, that is my red apple on the table. Mine, not yours. Your table's probably going to look different. Your apple might be a different color. It might be a different age, shade, size, anything. But it would be separate from mine. That apple and that red table and that scenario in that room are mine. That is not a lie. For you to tell me that apple is not there is a lie. I put it there. It's there, right there in front of me in my imagination. So is the Wraith in the Lamborghini. The ego can't step in and say, no, it's not. No, you can't. You know what it takes to get that? Tricking the ego. That's a huge part, tricking the ego. I've been doing that, and it feels good because the cars kind of look like it, the shape. And it's a great exercise to do. Find something like that you could do for yourself. The more closer to the real thing, the better. When I was trying to get the Lamborghini, I was taking pictures of me in front of Lamborghinis and Aston Martins. Yeah, those were Aston Martins. The black one and the gray one. It was an AC, and it was just a perfect opportunity. People, it's funny because it's like, I know people might have saw me like, yo, take a picture, and been like, this guy's taking a picture in front of the car, douchebag. I mean, this might have been what I thought. Yeah, what I would think if I saw it. But those pictures meant so much more to me. Those pictures are one of the reasons I got, to experience the Lambo. The current car that I had in my garage was another part of that too. But that whole God car, God house, that's a whole nother subject. In fact, what time is it? 1:40. I think I might even been on this for an hour. That's a whole nother subject, but it's great. The Buddhist, I think it's Buddhism. They believe that, Hindus believe that everything is God, and I agree. But not in the sense where if I have two basketballs in front of me, it's like you're one God and you're another. It's basically like God basketball. I think of it like this. Out of all the different transportations out there, vehicles, sitting in a car, getting behind a steering wheel, you can only drive one. That one you're driving is God car. No matter what, you could see 10 different cars and register in your mind only 2 of those to be yours. But the fact of the matter is that's God car coming to you, in that form. No matter what they come out with, horseback, jets, helicopters, there will be only one car category. And that's God car. And every one you've ever driven before, every car you ever see is God car. You just think it's not yours. Now, I'm not saying get in it and drive away. I know a lot of the people that are so far from being enlightened that I was talking about earlier, they're going to say, oh, you can't just get in someone else's car and drive away. Technically, you could. Especially if you had a gun. I'm not saying do that because there are repercussions to your actions that you're going to expect to come down on you. There's going to be an outcome from that you're going to expect and manifest into your life based off of what you've seen online. Flying away, growing wings and flying away is not one of them because you don't expect that to happen. You expect that to be impossible, as do I. Therefore, it doesn't even have a chance. You always get what you truly expect to get. Let the physical world be. Don't get crazy attached. Something has to go. It has to go. Rejecting that, denying that, hating that is every second you doing that is just counterproductive. And if it takes you a week, take your week. I love you and support you. Just try to cut it as short as you can for the sake of you and your family. Not for me, I'm good regardless. But for the sake of you and your family, you and yours, that I would never even know. Just do that for them. It's all like part of a thing. But anyway, so yeah. I can see, and this hit me the other day. I'm like, I want a supercar in my garage. I didn't even realize I have a supercar in my garage. I do. It's a 68 Challenger. I could turn the keys on and drive that bitch around the block right now. It sounds like a beast. It is a beast. Take that thing to ACO and race it. Probably lose. But it's a beast. It deserves to be out there. But not with these boys running these days. But so for me to say that I have a supercar in my garage, my ego has to shut the fuck up. Sorry I dropped the F-bomb, but I use it when I need to. And I use it for the ego. Because I hate it. I hate that little programming we got in us. It has to shut up and say, no, you don't have a supercar in the garage. It might say, but it's old. It might say, but you don't like driving it. It might say, but it's blocking the basketball court. Because I have a basketball court in there that we used to play basketball on. And we haven't for years and years. Because the challenge is sitting there. But the ego has to shut the fuck up. And let me sit back and smile in the fact that there's a supercar in my garage. No, let me back that up, because I want to hit you with this one first. Smile at the fact that I was just taking pictures of a Lamborghini right there. Now, with the picture in my mind of the Lamborghini in my garage, and me taking pictures and being happy about it, the words that are coming out of my mouth, my mental mouth, I guess you could say, because I'm not saying it out loud, although sometimes I do, and I should do it more often. The words that are coming out of my mental mouth are, I have a supercar in my garage. Now, this is 100% watering the seed of a Lamborghini or a supercar being in the garage again. There's no ego, and you're saying it, that's 100% on. Those are the examples that you want to put yourself in. Those are the examples that you want to be in. That was beautiful. Seeing 458 Hemi written on the front of this car was confirmation. This is a supercar to me. I could probably sell this shit $40,000 right now. Cash. I know people that gotta pay for it. I used to have a couple different old cars used to be out front of here when my dad first moved to Florida. Every week somebody was coming by wanting to buy a car. Nah, I'm good. It's a collection, son. Not an auction. That was back then. Now there is one. One supercar. So I get to water this seed. Calorie free. I don't know why I said that, but it just felt good. Without any guilt or drama, I get to just water the seed that there's a supercar in my garage. And saying that makes me think of the Lambo. So it's like I'm literally staring at the Lambo, having that feeling in my garage, uninterrupted, with no calories. I like the way that sounds. Boom. Put yourself in a situation like that. I always said, people don't value $1. And I'm talking about $1 bill. But there's someone out there who would. Now, if you can apply this God car thought process to God money, whether it be rubles or pesos, God monetary, God money for us over here in America, New Jersey, God money will come to you in many different shapes and sizes. And that includes a $1 bill or a stack of $100 bills. 100 ones or 100, whatever. God will come to you. God money will come to you in many different shapes and forms. But no matter how big the pile is or small, that is still just one being God money that will come to you and how you expect him to come to you. Like you expect that paycheck to be the same as the last and you're wondering why you haven't gotten the promotion. Come on. Positivity, baby. It all just adds up. Peace. It's like, no, I'm playing. Appreciate God money being with you. One thing I learned about my eclipse, one of the biggest lessons I learned about my eclipse was if I wanted an eclipse, thank you for the love, you guys. If I had a 95 eclipse souped up, just like Fast and Furious, sitting in my garage. I used to meditate on that. That's how I got the Challenger and the Lamborghini. But anyway, one thing I loved about the eclipse was, I hated the fact that it was always messed up. Something was electrical wrong with it. But I always used to say, if I wanted to have a badass eclipse on the road driving the full experience of an eclipse, I would need to get the whole thing. Now I have the car here. I just got to get it fixed. More than half of the job is done. I used to think like that all the time. And every summer I go out and I'd be able to drive it. And for a couple of times, and then it wasn't called. I took it to different mechanics to see if it was an alternator. We got a new alternator, new voltage regulator, all that other stuff. And it just kept having the same problem. Like I'd drive it somewhere and it would just leave me there. It just wouldn't have no juice. We replaced so much stuff, and I just got rid of it after that. But as soon as I made space, in came the Challenger. 4406 out of 4600 made that year. Then came the Lambo. And then came this Challenger that's here now. Deliveries from God that I can only appreciate, but I can't appreciate them if I'm too busy worried about bills and other stuff. And I worry less about bills and other stuff when I know I'm in control of my future. The only way to know that you're in control is to be the boss of not only the situation, but every possible outlet. Because you can't be the boss of this situation, but it doesn't matter because a meteor could come and destroy all of it, which means it's not going to happen. How about being the boss of all of it? You see what I'm getting at? Out of everything I've done since I started this, this is by far, it's only gotten better over the years, but this is by far the best. As far as producing results, physically, mentally, and emotionally. Physically, I'm expecting one package in the mail from Amazon every day for the next month. I expect it. You think about that for a second and say, well, how the hell did you space that out? In order to space that out, I'd have to order one thing a day, wouldn't I? And that's what I'm going to do. My Christmas shopping done early. Christmas for me. Yeah, I don't even know. Look, y'all got me thinking and smiling and appreciating. And tomorrow's Sunday, and they delivering on Sunday. Amazon Prime, 2-day delivery, baby. 2-day delivery. I'm loving this. I can get a box of cereal and just order it. Free shipping to be here in 2 days. Let me get a Snickers bar. They got Amazon Whole Foods. Oh man. I don't even need these cars. I don't even need to leave the crib. Oh man. But I was supposed to be with Drake and Meek Mills tonight. Well, obviously I wasn't. It's just leave it at that. Next time. But the fact that it was one car ride away, and not many people can say that. My peoples was like, my son's gonna go see him at the concert. His dad's taking him. And I was like, yeah. So when he's done there, that's when I'm gonna go see him. You know what I mean? And that's love right there. That's not something you could say about Drake or Meek Mills any day of the week. So that's love. Just to be able to be put in that situation. I was at my brother's house, my mom's house in Florida, and I asked my brother, I said, yo, you gonna come down to Yeezy's party this year, right? And he goes, yeah, I should be able to make it. And his friend was like, yo, are you talking about Kanye? And he was like, serious, like, yo. And I was like, nah. And but just the fact that he wasn't like, if he was like, when I talk, people know, and I love that. When I talk, people know, yo, he actually be around those people, like he be in those situations. And there's no it ain't. Where I come from, nobody ever did shit, and still hasn't. So it's like nobody believed anything. I always do a comparison when I say that. If you tell someone your cousin with Beyonce, they're automatically gonna doubt it. And I did a study behind that. But where I grew up after, this was super duper duper. Like literally I could be like, yeah, I'm a cop in Camden now. And they'd be looking at me like, no, you not. You working at the factory over there just like me. No. See this bulge on my hip? See the bartender just give me a drink for free? Yeah, good times. But yeah, I enjoy that. And the fact that I just talked about it with you guys, thank you for listening, because I'm able to vent out good things. Therefore, what you give off, you're going to get reimbursed. Like I say in my song that I'll release one of these days. I'm not, it's not like a big, like, I want to release it ASAP, obviously. It's just like, when I do it, I'll do it. Oh, hell, I might do it tomorrow. Super Soul Sundays. I might get down and give y'all some R&B. No, it's not R&B. I guess it would be R&B. No, it's rap. But yeah, what time is it? It's 1:55 a.m. Thank you for the for the love. The cough. It's so funny. I just got word that I didn't have GERD. Because they don't no. There was no damage in my esophagus though, and they didn't see anything to cause alarm. So ever since I hung up the phone with them, we talked about the cough that I had that started all this. And I had that cough when I was still doing the shows at RV and TV. And he was like, yeah, if you're not coughing, then you don't need medicine. I hate taking pills. Anything I don't like taking no pills or anything like that. I just feel weird. So, as soon as he cleared me from that, I started coughing. and it progressively got worse well, you see how often I coughed tonight. I don't think it was overly a lot, but I wanted to more just because I'm talking. But like once an hour, I'll just cough. Not hysterically, just once. Just like that. And it got more frequent. So, whatever, post-nasal drip. I'm getting a little bit sniffly. Allergy, I don't know. I'm going to take Zyrtec. See what happens. That's the catch-all these days. No more Robitussin and cough medicine. If you're sick, it's because you're allergic to something, give them allergy medicine. And it makes sense. It was weird when I first heard it, but it makes sense. So, I bangs with it. Go handle that. Until then, I'm back standing between these two cars, and they look like more like an Aston Martin, and I love that it looks like an Aston. I'm gonna take the next couple minutes to just chill and marinate and picture myself standing between my Aston Martin and my Lamborghini SUV. That I don't even like the way Lamborghini SUV looks, but I want to be in a situation where I'm financially sound enough to have both of them here at my Jersey property, and also be able to do it not just in my mind, with my eyes open in between two things that kind of look like those things, as they're in my peripherals, looking straight ahead. Now spend a couple minutes there. Let me spend a couple minutes there. That's watering some seeds. Oh, yo. That's watering some seeds right there. That's what I'm talking about. That's what life is about. I'm not going to spend the next 5 minutes thinking about bills. I'm not going to spend it thinking about nothing and meditating. I'm going to spend it thinking about how happy I am and how right I was when I said I was going to own both these cars, and I got them right now. And the fact that I am El Creator, and this is God car that has come to me in the shape of Lamborghini Eclipse minivan. This is God car. I have him in my life several times. So though it may, this actually looks like it, so it's hard to talk about it. But if it didn't look like it, I could still play it, because God car is God car. No matter what I'm in, Rolls Royce, Lambo, Ford Escort, when I'm behind the wheel, that's God car, the one I'm operating. I can only operate one at a time. And no matter what technology comes out with, 2 wheels is a motorcycle, that ain't a car. Wings is an airplane, that ain't a car. Car got its own category. And that's how you can match it up. But I don't have to do that here. I like to shape and twist and pull and put myself in situations to make this easier. That's a lot of what I do throughout the day, to make it easier to see. Ooh, and I see it. And I expected this cough to get worse, and it has. I expect it to get worse before it gets better. It's kind of something that's deeply embedded in my mind. And it's been proven, a million times over in my life about, big and small things. So it's deeply embedded. I'd love to see a shooting star right now. I'm going to call it. Ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh my God, I'm so nervous. It's not going to happen, and I'm going to be wrong. Manifested being wrong. You seen that? Look, you guys can't even see. I could have lied to you and said there was a shooting star, but that is a perfect example of what I was talking about in that one video. Get a lottery ticket. Don't watch the numbers. After they already came out, then check them. And as you're reading them one at a time, try to stay positive. Pay close attention to where your mind goes 2 seconds before you see the first letter. Like when you go to click the button, like type in New Jersey Lottery or Mega Millions, whatever it is, and right when you go to click the button, pay attention to what happens in your chest. Learn a little something about yourself. It can't hurt. As far as I know, you're the most important topic that you should be studying. So study. Alright? I love you guys. I'm going to spend some time with my Aston Martin / Wraith. I'll do both. And my Lamborghini SUV. Or G-Class. I'll do both. And then we'll count the days to see how long before I'm standing between those 2 cars with the feeling of ownership and pride in my chest. Because that's what I'm feeling right now. But I gotta expect it. I expect to see these cars when I walk out here tomorrow. That's a problem. I have to change what I'm expecting. Which is a bigger problem because I never had a Wraith or an Aston Martin, which makes it even harder to expect it. But it shouldn't be that hard. I know where my career is going. And it's coming. Come on, shooting star. Watch, as soon as I stop it, it's going to pop up and I'm going to love it. Alright, I love you guys. I'll talk to you. This has been another one. We the best, baby. Night Sesh with Neo. I love doing this. Peace.